You asked me earlier about what was I like as a child. I was always absolutely terrible with out-of-context essay prompts. My name is Amber Carpenter. I'm professor of philosophy at Yale-NUS College. Born in Michigan, which is where all my family are from. I'm told that when I was left at nursery, about 2 years old or so, I would spend the whole time in the cloakroom, hanging out. I was happy. I didn't mind. I didn't particularly go out of my way to interact with people. On the other hand, a lot of running around outdoors, climbing on walls and making forts and climbing trees and very elaborate games involving quasi-caveman scenarios and things like this. As early as I can remember, a preference for books that dealt with ideas. So in high school, reading things like Zen and the Art of Motorcycle Maintenance, Crime and Punishment, and books that deal with really serious conceptual issues. I think that once you start philosophy, one thing leads to another. Philosophy is very much about the pursuit, and the pursuit of understanding, and not being satisfied with the answers that you have already. If you take philosophy and you think, hang on a minute, where's the answer? Which one's right? It's probably not the discipline for you. Yeah, hard to say. Hard to say if I began by loving it or if it began by somehow taking me by the throat and saying, oh, I'm not going to let you go. There is no option here. When I went to university, I thought that I would study either anthropology, maybe religious studies, because I wanted to know why people did what they did. But I also wanted to know what was true. I, for a short time, thought that I would study PPE, so that I would do something interesting with my life, something real, not interesting. So I would do something real with my life. That survived exactly one course in comparative socioeconomic systems, and that was the end. It had no philosophical depth, no conceptual clarity, and I was through. I never thought of a career in academia. It's a terrible job. I don't recommend it. I don't trust anybody who does recommend it. So I was going to do 3 or 4 more years of philosophy because I had the funding for it, 3 more years. And then I was going to either do something real with my life or go join some kind of monastery, monastic kind of setting. What does success mean to me? What I want from teaching and from the whole experience is I want students to think. Go into their lives, whatever it is they're going to do, thinking more than they would otherwise have done. I want them to want to understand, and I want them to have the confidence and the curiosity to admit that they don't know or that they're puzzled by something. During my time in Dharamsala, actually outside of Dharamsala, I also ran into Singaporeans there, Singaporean nuns, Buddhist nuns, and they were just really lovely. First time I came to Singapore was for the interview, and I was coming from Yorkshire. Yorkshire is about as white gets. I'm not West Yorkshire. West Yorkshire has Bradford and so on. No, I was coming from North Yorkshire. So obviously the first thing I noticed is, oh my God, people look different. This is wonderful, and they dress different too. They're very excited about that. A certain feeling of comfortability with that kind of explicit diversity, which was very nice, very attractive. So I did not plan to have children. The world has children enough, and as I said to my partner when I was 6 months pregnant, the world is a terrible thing to do to a child. Right? I mean, it's really a lot of awfulness, and there's a lot of risk. I was willing to take that risk, but you can't walk into it pretending that you're not opening yourself up to all kinds of risk. You have no idea what's going to happen with this person's life. You do know that nothing will be more important to you than what happens with this person's life, and you know that it's not under your control. Now, the actual experience of it is so much fun. It is so much fun.